Hi, this is Dan Fleming from DansMark Software Solutions. This is a demo of the Sloped Railing Designer. I'll go ahead and open it up and take a look at it. It's a big dialog. Basically, it's very simple. Everything on the left-hand side has to do with the variable for a post type rail, which is shown in the image. Everything on the right side is the variable for a wall rail image. Also in this version, we have a multiple rail capability. We do not have curved railing in this version. If there's enough interest generated, I'll go ahead and write that as an option. Basically, you'll be able to open, save, and delete data sets. So you can configure your post rail and your wall rail, and you can save everything as a data set. And it's unlimited as the amount of data sets that you can have. Also in this version, there's a drawing auto count, which is checked as default. If you don't want that, uncheck it. But basically what it does, it keeps track of your drawing. So the first drawing you do, drawing number 1, second, drawing number 2, so on and so forth. Now it blocks these drawings out. Once it draws the drawing, it puts it in the title block, the bill of materials. It blocks it out to this drawing name and the wall rails to the wall rail name. You can use any name you want, but you need to leave a 1 or some type of a number on the end of it so that it can count those. It'll look at the blocks, see if the name has been used. If it has, it'll add a number to. In other words, if it's rail R1, it'll make it rail R2 automatically. You don't have to do nothing for it to do that. We're going to also in this version, you have an insert command. Basically, when you get done with your drawing, let's say you only want one drawing. Click insert, it dismisses the dialog, inserts all the railing and wall rail drawings that you have done. The nomenclature should be rail as the very first part of the name. After that, put whatever you want to in it. If you don't, insert won't work. Post rail. It's a big dialog. It looks very busy, but it's very simple. We have top rail options at the top where my cursor is at. Then we have post options where my cursor is at here. Then we have grab rail options down in this section. Bracket options, information, and then inside railing or barrier. And that's for the pickets and kick plate. As same as in the custom railing designer, you can use pipe or square and rectangle tubing and hollow structural for the top rail, the post, the grab rail, the pickets, and the kick plate. It will tell you what is current. If you change it, that text will change to the current whatever option it is that you have, and it'll update the main dialog with the changes that you've made from here. Let's look at where it says align left and align right. Basically, the left is how far is that railing endpoint, in other words, the very end of the rail, from the slope. You can move that to wherever you want to. It'll go 20 foot maximum. If you need more than that, you need to contact DansMark Software Solutions. So you can move that top rail to wherever you need to move it from 0 all the way out to 20 feet. Same thing with the right-hand side. The align means to align it with whatever the distance you have on the post. Let me explain that. On the post, that distance is from the center line of the post to the end of that slope whether it be on the left or right side. Right now, it's configured it to a 9/16. Let's say, well, it was going to go out past the end of it. Let's move our top rail out and move the right bottom rail out to 1 foot 3.5. Now we want to align the post with that measurement. It automatically aligns it. What it does is it reads the post size and the top rail size, and it does the calculation, and that number is to the center of that post from the slope. If you don't need that, then don't use it. We'll move that back out, and then we'll align the top rail back to where the post is. And now the post is back to a 9/16. Now we're going to align the top rail to the end of the post. Notice that it now moves to 3.5 inches from the end of the post. Let me align that now. So you notice that it changes. We're at 1 3/4 instead of 11/16. So it will do just about anything that you need for it to do. Let me move it back to 9/16 and then doing a line. Oh, that's 2 and 9/16. Sorry, 2 and crap. 2 and 9, and then a line. Notice that that it would come up to 3.5. Anyway, the height of the top rail is here. It can go from 0 all the way up to 20 foot tall. The spacing for the posts, it defaults to 5 foot. You make it anything that you want. Save it in data sets. So you can configure your post railings. You can configure 100 different types if you wanted to, and save each one of them in data sets, open them up, change the rise and run, bam, your drawing's done. It's going to be that simple. The depth, that's the core drill depth. It defaults to 6 inches. If you need something different, change it. Grab rail options. It's either this side or on the grab rail or the far side. There again, you have the option of pipe or rectangle, square, and tubing and structural tubing. On the left side, where it says grab rail, that's the bracket distance. In other words, how far is that grab rail going to go out past the end of that post? 2 and 15/16 to the center of that grab rail. You can't change that because that's the distance for that particular bracket to turn and continue another railing. So you can basically use these on stairs if you wanted to, and you can do stair rails with these things. You can put base plates on them or core drill, either one. The height on the grab rail, notice I have it CC 8 and top 210. Well, the CC it's 8 inches from center to center of that railing from the top rail, and it was 2 foot 10 to the top. Now it's 1 foot 8 from the top rail and 1 foot 10 to the top. That's off the finished floor. And now we're back again. So it defaults to 2 foot 10 with 8. If you need something different, change it. Bracket options. There's only one bracket option in this version. If you need more bracket options, contact DansMark Software Solutions for the availability of more brackets. If we have enough requests, enough people want it, I'll make a bracket designer where you can put your own custom bracket, whatever it might be, into the system with the data for it and be able to configure it however you need it. So that if it needs to go on, a post or the end to center, to the outside, inside, that will be configurable in a later version. Picket, the same thing. You can either use pipe, square and rectangle tubing, or structural hollow. Same thing with kick plate. Spacing on the pickets, it defaults to 4 inches. So it's always going to reject whatever that number is. In other words, it's going to reject a 4-inch spear. So it might be 3 and 15/16, could be 3 and 13, could be 3 and 3/4. Depends on the calculations. The distance between the post and the picket is the same between picket and picket all throughout the whole railing. If you need something different, contact DansMark Software Solutions. We can make customize the program to your specific needs. Kick plate. That's the same again for the square, rectangle tubing, and hollow structural, and schedule piping. The clearance. This is off of the finished floor, so 1 inch to the bottom of that kick plate off the finished floor, and you can change it to whatever you need. Drawing numbers. Always use rail with whatever drawing number you want. I would suggest leaving it like it is, and that way we keep track of the blocks and the drawing numbers and everything like that. You can change in the drawing itself the name of the rail. That's up to you. The rise and run information. Also, on information you have pickets. Now, if you don't want pickets, uncheck pickets, and pickets will go away. Notice it grays out the picket area, so you can't change the pickets. Let's say you don't want a kick plate either. You just want a 2-line rail. There it is. Top rail with a grab rail. If you don't want a grab rail, you don't have to have a grab rail. If you want pickets without a grab rail, there it is. If you only want a kick plate with a top rail, that's up to you. So, as many different options as you need. The image changes to the current selection, so you always at a glance you'll know exactly what your railing is going to look like. Base plate or core drill. It defaults to core drill. If you put it on base plate and save in data sets, then it will default to base plates. So that's something for you to think about. Your base plate designer is the same base plate designer as in the custom railing designer program. We have a 5 by 5 by ½ inch thick plate, and the whole grip or the whole diameter is a ½ an inch. It's a 3/4 inch grip on the hole, and the post hole basically is for drawing base plates separately, but this will change depending on what type of post that you have. I don't have it, so it's updating that right at the moment. But if you're using a top rail that's a 2 by 2 by 1/8 inch hollow tubing, for instance, and your post is the same thing, then it's going to be a square on the base plate designer. If it's Schedule 40 piping or schedule piping, then it's going to be round. I don't know if I will allow the base plate designer to be used separately with the Sloped Railing Designer or not. I haven't decided yet. It is usable as a standalone with the custom railing designer. So if you have the custom railing designer and you use the Sloped Railing Designer as another option in that program, then you'll have that capabilities along with lots of other capabilities. Opening, saving, and deleting data sets. You have that capability here too. So as many different types of base plates as you need, you can open, save, and delete them so that you can quickly design whatever it is that you need to design. Wall rail. Let's look at the wall rails right quick. Wall rails are very simple. You have the railing itself, either scheduled piping or square rectangle tubing or hollow structural tubing. Where it says left here, that's 1 foot. So that's the very end of the top rail from the end of the slope on the left and the right. It'll go out to 20 feet on both sides. So especially if you're inside of an emergency exit or a stairwell inside of a large building, if you need a handrail along the walls, this is what you use to do that with. The height of the railing is defaults to 2'10". If you need something different, change it, and then you can save it in your data set. Bracket options, there's only one bracket option. Not available. It's only the one. That's the Wagner 1930. Where it says left and right, 6 inches, that means from the end of that railing, the start of the first bracket is 6 inches to the middle. On the right side, it's 6 inches. So in other words, wherever you put your end rail, your very end rail is going to be 6 inches starting out from that very end point. Or you can have a foot. I think I'm not sure. Oh, it's going to go past the end of the rail. So if you're up here at 20 feet, I think that you can go 19 foot 8 and 7/16, maybe even 20 feet right here also. Let's see. Yep. See, it won't go past. So 19 foot, 11 and 15/16 would have been the very furthest that you could have went. Let's take this back to 1 foot. Bear with me. 1 foot. And we'll take this back to 6 inches. Spacing of the bracket. Well, it's at 1 foot 4 inches right now. Put it at 5 foot just for instance. There's 5'4". So we just hold it down until it gets down to close to 0. There it is, 5 foot. So now you can adjust the rise and run differently from the wall rail if you need. From the post rail if you need to. You can save those in data sets. And there you are. You can either use aluminum or steel. If you need some other type of material, by all means, contact DansMark Software Solutions. We can use these programs as base programs to customize your specific products so that it's using your product no matter what it is, whether it be glass, stainless steel, cable, anything that you need, plastic, any kind of resin product, anything that you need, we can customize this for you. We're going to go ahead and draw a post rail. There's one done. I'm going to go ahead and draw another one. Notice that now it has found a block name. It's changing it to number 2. And we're going to do it again. And then we're going to do a wall rail. And we'll do another wall rail. Now it's changed to wall rails. And now I'm going to go ahead and insert all the railings. There they are. Zoom E, and there's all of our railings done. So we've already designed 3 systems very quickly. So you can open, save, delete data sets to do your designs very, very quickly, change your rise and run information, and you can do your slope railings as quickly as you need. Also, these drawings automatically update themselves to the size of the railing. In other words, the scale factor. If you go over, let's say, a 12-foot run, the scale automatically changes on these. If you got a 52-foot sloped rail, the scale's going to change on it, so that it's still a D-size drawing, but the scale factor is going to change. So all of your, whether it's an 8 scale, a half inch equals a foot, or it's a 48 scale, which is a quarter inch equals a foot, when you print it out, the text is always going to be the same size on that printed out sheet. So it automatically adjusts all the text, all the spacings, the dimensions, everything, and probably I will incorporate the layer control system on this, so you can set this drawing up so that it basically will use all of your layers and colors and line types. So basically it'll be your drawings using my program. For more information, contact Dan Fleming at DansMark.com. Don't forget to look at the railing demo of the Custom Railing Designer. This video is, I would say I'm probably about another couple of weeks away from releasing this version. I will probably put in the top rail profile designer, incorporate that into this version at some point. I don't know if I have time to do it right now, but certainly I do plan to put the top rail profile designer in here, so you can basically insert your top rail profiles into this system and all the data for it. Thanks very much.